different curriculum of learning, si tuko na different one, si ndio? Si ndio? So time teacher anakuchapa juu ya handwriting, wao wanachapwa juu ya font yenye imetypiwa kwa computer, if they have used the wrong one. That is how different we are. Them, they do not know about starvation, as we are dealing with starvation right in front of our eyes. Sindio? So you've had friends at school who tell us wamelala njaa. Sindio? So their problems are very unique from our problems. Okay? Okay?
Yes.
Okay?
Yes.
Sawa. Si wao wako na Spider-Man, sisi hatuna. Okay. Sawa. So, tulisema tunaenda kwa straight into protection, into participation rights. Sini sawa? The vision of this document is a society where children enjoy their full rights responsibly. The other thing that I had not mentioned that I need to mention is that to every right that you have as a child, you have a responsibility. Yani kwa kila haki ambayo uko nayo kama mtoto, una jukumu. Si ndio? Uko na nini? If you have the right to go to school, what is your responsibility? Yes?
I have my responsibility to what's the question?
If you have the right to go to school, what is your responsibility?
To read and to respect the teachers.
To read and to respect the teachers. Sindio? In as much as ni haki yako kuenda shule, jukumu lako ni lipi? Kuenda shule Sindio? Yes, so don't always be carrying placards and saying, our rights, our rights. What is your responsibility? Government will call you down, kujeni, kaeni chini. What is your responsibility? Sini sawa? In as much as uko na hiyo haki, jukumu lako ni Sindio? Sindio?
Yes.
Lakini wangapo wanafanyanga hivyo? Wangapo wanapakua sahani moja, wanapakua sahani mbili, anakula hii moja nusu na anamwaga moja na nusu. Si wako wengi? And you know of children who are suffering of starvation. Sindio? So to every right, always associate it with a responsibility. That is always how you'll be a successful human being. Okay? Sindio?
Yes.
Sindio?
Yes.
Sindio?
Yes.
Okay. Core values. The mission is to provide a protective and enabling environment where children participate in matters affecting them through capacity building, collaboration, and advocacy. Capacity building ni kupea your information and how to use it. Then collaboration is tell you how you'll work with other agencies, and then advocacy ni kuwaput hapo muende mkipush for a certain agenda. Okay? Okay?
Yeah.
Like ending violence against children. You advocate for that. Sini sawa?
Yes.
Core values are honesty, respectful, responsibility, accountability, and commitment. Those will be the things that we always aim to achieve here. Sini sawa?
Yes.
Be honest. Usikama hapa kutuambia uongo. Sindio? Sindio? Ukwe respectful. Respect other people's what? Opinion. Sindio? Akisema kwao wanakulanga nduma na Big G, respect them. Sindio? Sindio? Respect them. Sindio? And the other one is responsibility. When you're here, carry yourself with responsibility. Sindio? Sindio, with every right comes a what? Responsibility. Accountability. Be accountable. When you go back to school, tell them what you learned. You be accountable of what you learned. Then the other one is, if you're seated here with us, eka akili yako hapa tufanye kazi pamoja. Sindio? Sindio? Si hapo tumeelewa? Guiding principle is for the best interest of a child rights approach, non-discrimination, and respect for other people's views. Moto yetu ni maisha yetu wajibu we. Simwambia mambo ya wajibu wako. Maisha yetu wajibu. Let's shout again. Maisha yetu wajibu wetu. Let's go.
Maisha yetu wajibu wetu.
Sawa. Nawaambia hivyo juu ya hiyo joto tuko nayo tusilale. Si ndio? I know it is hot. Si ndio? Let's try and push each other to the best. The main objective is to enhance child participation in Kenya, the specific objectives. 1, to empower children with knowledge on their rights and responsibility. 2, to involve children in informing policy formulation, planning, lobbying for implementation, and giving feedback on issues affecting them. There are so many. Provide forums for promoting child participation, facilitate networking, promote patriotism and cohesion and nationalhood. Okay, when you are here, kuna yule ambaye ametoka South za Pangani, mwingine ametoka Land Mawe, mwingine South Sea, lakini tunakaa hapa kama Starehe Sabka. Sindio? So we are promoting cohesion, yes, that we are living together under nationalhood as well. Sindio? Yes. Okay. Point 9, to empower children to participate actively and productively in their lives. I think this is what we are aiming at. Creating a culture of dialogue among children and between children and adults on matters affecting them and also in their communities. So that when you come out of here, you can have a conversation with the people back at home. Sindio? Sindio? Yes. Okay. Promote to impact children with life skills to realize their rights and responsibility. To provide a forum, a platform for tracking and implementation of the Convention of Children's Rights and the Children's Act. Okay? Functions of Children Assembly. Identify and engage children in matters affecting them. Next one, nataka e-line. Tusome hiyo sentence ya anzia number 2. Kwa functions of children assembly. Uko hapo? Anza number 2 haraka haraka. Yes. Pass the mic as you're talking.
To organize forums for children to engage leaders, lobby organizations and duty bearers to support the best interest of the children.
Okay, next. Haraka haraka.
To provide a conduct.
And you shout, please.
To provide a conducive environment that enhance children participation in decision-making process in matter affect their right and welfare.
Yes, next.
Create sharing forums like children assemblies, children's magazine, publication, media, and other online platforms for the children to share information, experiences, and to learn from one another.
Thank you. Next.
Undertake activities and programs that enhance mentorship, leadership, life, and social skills.
Next.
Facilitate the formation and
implementation, monitoring and evaluation of programs and legal instruments that safeguard their rights and welfare. Then the other one is core area number 3, to provide forums for promotion of children participation at local, regional and international levels. Area number 4, we are moving real fast, ndio? But tunaelewa. Area number 4, facilitate networking and coordination among children and other relevant stakeholders. Simnaona stakeholders wetu wenye wako pale? Yes. You're seeing all their logos? Yes. Some of them are seated here with us, okay? Yes. Core area number 5, to promote patriotism, cohesion, nationalhood among Kenyans. See, we have talked about that one. How we are coming from different areas, different backgrounds, different cultures, and we are seated here discussing issues that affect us as Kenyan children. Sindio? Yeah. Now, we are going to look into a very specific subtitle in this document known as the structure of the Children Assembly. Sinisawa. This is how the Children Assembly, initially it was looking different. After the review, they saw it right that we have such a new structure. And in case, listen to this, there is a but, in case we do not agree with this structure, we can give our input. Sinisawa, tuseme hapa, mimi naona mnatuita sergeant at arms hatutaki, tunataka tuito jina ingine. Sinisawa, ama tutaki aitwe chairperson, we want them to be called a president. Okay? Yes. President of the Kenya Children Assembly. Or we want them to be called, instead of Secretary General, we want them to be called National Speaker of the Kenya Children what? Assembly. We will decide. Sinisawa. But let us see what they decided, okay? Now the leaders are going to be, 1, the chairperson at the national level. Now, after we have sat, like right now we are at the sub-county level, okay? Next, some of you are going to proceed to the county level, and then from there, wataenda kwa national, what? National level. Kwa national level, watachoose kiongozi. Watachoose nani? Kiongozi. Ambaye watamuita chair what? Chairperson, okay? After the chairperson atakuwa deputy chairperson, there will be a secretary general, there will be an assistant secretary general, there will be an organizing secretary, there will be a sergeant at arms, there will be 2 deputy sergeant at arms, and there will be 4 committee secretaries under the 4 pillars. Do you remember the 4 pillars maybe? Who remembers one of the pillars of children under the UNCRC? Yes? Development. Thank you. Your name? Willie. Thank you, Willie. Yes?
Participation.
Participation. Witness.
Survival.
Survival. Protection. Mimi ni mnoma, nimebalance gender, si ndio? Boy girl, boy girl. Mnipigie makofi. Sawa. Nivo. Sawa. Sasa, those are the 4 pillars. So at the national level, they will be able to have those 4 secretaries, 4 committee secretaries, okay? In the committee, they will not now be called, initially we used to call ourselves the cabinet, okay? Okay? Yes. Where the speaker was an ex-official member. Wangapo wamefikia masomo ya kwanza kusema mambo ya ex-official? Who is the ex-official? Who is an ex-official? Give me an example of an ex-official.
Speaker in the Senate.
The?
Speaker. The
Speaker of the Senate, yes. 1. The same one, yes. The Attorney General, yes. Speaker of the National Assembly, the Parliament. Thank you. Hiyo ndio nilikuwa nataka kusema. Sawa. So those are ex-official members. In that they have not been elected, or legally they should not be there, but because of the expertise they offer, we are going to call them into the cabinet, okay? Now, we are not going to call ourselves cabinet, we're going to call ourselves committee, a committee, okay? a what? A committee. So hiyo committee ndio itakuwa na the 4 secretaries ambayo watakuwa na deal na hizo the 4 pillars, okay? Yeah. Now, there will be also delegates at the national level. Note that Now the delegates watakuwa hivi at the national level, wale watu watakuwa wameketi hapo before election ama even after election and you have not been elected, you call yourself the county delegates. Okay? Because you're coming from the county level going to the national level. So ebu mniambie, saiji mko kwa county level, what delegates are you? Look at the document. The answer is there. Mwakenya iko hapo. Now that we are at the sub-county level, who are you? Yes? Ward delegates. The same? Ward delegates, because you're coming from your various wards. So you've been delegated. You mumepewa fursa ya kuja ku represent your different wards. At the national, whoever is speaking will be addressing you as the county delegates. Ndio? Okay? Yes. Okay? Yes. Tuko pamoja? Hadi hapo tumeelewa the national structure? Yes. That we shall have one. Give me the people who shall be in the national structure. Nipe moja jina, nipe mtu mmoja mwenye atakuwa kwa national structure. Iko hapo answer, niambie. Kamseka moja. Speak out please. And if you are not sure, just tell me, ina shida. I give somebody else. Sawa. But nikwambie mmoja, wenye naona unaweza kuwa wewe. Unaweza kuwa chairperson. Sawa. At the national level, yes? Deputy chairperson.
Secretary General.
Secretary General.
Assistant.
Assistant Secretary General.
Organizing Secretary.
Organizing Secretary. Sergeant at arms. Huyo ndo msee mwenye ukileta shida unawekwa nje, si ndio? Unatemwa nje. Nimesikia kutemwa nje. Si mimi, nimesikia hapa mbele. Yes? Deputy Secretary General, thank you. Another one, yes? Shout. I can't hear you. 2 deputies of Sergeant at Arms. 4 committee secretaries. Nio. And then we shall also have delegates. Sindio? Okay. Now, your structure ndo unaona imepangwa hapo, whereby we shall have the National Kenya Children Assembly. Then after that, we shall be having the County Kenya Children Assembly, the Sub-County Kenya Children Assembly, where we are right now. Okay? Unaweza tick hapo useme, I was here. Sindio? Yes, and then there is the Ward Kenya Children Assembly. And then, this guideline expects us to have a locational Kenya Children Assembly. At the locational, can I give you an example of a location? Yes. Niwape example? Yes. Kama sasa Kariakoo. Sindio? Kariakoo ni ward, sindio? Chini ya Kariakoo kuna locations gani? Moja, Ziwani. Yes, Ziwani. Now, under Ziwani, wanataka Ziwani as a location. Now we are taking it as a location. Shule zote za Ziwani zikuwe zinapeana watoi wanakuja kuparticipate. The doctors will only formulate and give theses. Do you think it is a chief? Do you think it is the police?
No.
Who will give us what is happening on ground? The children themselves, si ndio?
Yeah.
Si wao ndo wanajua ule mse fulani wa nduthi ndo anabebanga watu yao anawapeleka kwa nyumba, si ndio? Kuna mse fulani anatufanyanga stuff fulani, si ndio? There will be those talks, si ndio? Okay. Now, tushamaliza national, tushamaliza structure venye itakuwa. Now, now this is how the national is going to be. After the chairperson and the deputy chairperson, there will be a secretary general. The secretary general will work hand in hand with the KC assistant secretary general. Then we'll be giving orders to the organizing secretary of the national KCA, the deputy organizing secretary, the sergeant at arms, and then all these people will have a national Kenya Children committee. There will be 4 committees, okay? There will be 4 committee secretaries. The one for survival, the one for development, the one for protection, the one for
Participation.
okay? Those 4 will form the committee at the national level, and they shall also in their membership have the delegates there, okay? Kila committee itakuwa na delegate, okay? Okay?
Yes.
Si mmeelewa?
Yes.
Kuna mtu hajaelewa? Anybody who needs to simplify? Tuache kuongea kizungu mingi. Sawa. At the county level, initially we had governors, we had deputy governor, blah, blah, blah. I told you I was the governor of Nairobi County. But now they have rubbed off and said, hii mambo ya governor, wachana na, weka speaker to the county children assembly. And the speaker shall work hand in hand with the deputy speaker, shall work hand in hand with the sergeant at arms at the county level, shall work hand in hand with the clerk at the county level, the deputy clerk, and then they shall have the 4 committee secretaries and their delegates. Okay? Okay? Same as huko, but difference is now at the top here there is no chairperson or deputy chairperson, but there is a who? A speaker. Sini sawa?
Yes.
Okay?
Yes.
Tumeelewa? Yes. Tumeelewa bro? Okay. Next. Najua tushamaliza wase. Sub-county children assembly. Like right here. Right here, in the course of these 2 days, we should be having, unless said otherwise, a speaker to the sub-county level, a sub-county deputy speaker, a sergeant at arms at the sub-county, same as the county, but sasa tunaongeza nini hapo mwisho? Sub-county. Sini sawa?
Yeah.
So sasa tutakuwa na sub-county speaker, sub-county sergeant at arms, sub-county deputy speaker, sub-county clerk, sub-county deputy clerk. Then we shall have the 4 committees, which are for who? The first committee, survival. The other one?
Development.
The other one?
Protection.
The other one?
Participation.
So make sure you're fitted somewhere in those committees, okay? See where you can best represent the people back at home. The ward level, they shall have the same too, okay? Sini sawa? Hadi kwa ward, kama hapa Kariakoo Ziwani, tutakuwa nayo. Sini sawa? Si ndio? Then, kwa location bado, they still want it to have that same structure. Okay? So that I don't repeat myself, the same structure will be represented up to the locational level. Sini sawa? Sini sawa?
Yes.
Wangapi wameelewa hadi hapo? Wangapi wameelewa? Lewa. Okay, sawa. Thank you. Hadi hapo kuna swali? Hadi hapo kuna swali? Tunaweza simama kidogo. Tusimame. I know it's hot. We are thirsty. We are in the last leg. Shamaliza structure, si ndio? Na sasa tunaenda tu kwa responsibility na tukafu. Sawa, when I say, we're going to play a very short game. When I say Jerusalem, okay? Let's go. Jerusalem. Any assistance? Actually confirm. Before we take away, any assistance to do? Who said it? We shout. So we shout to do. Sawa. Jerusalem. Then Jericho. Wow. Sawa. Jericho. Alafu sasa Israel aje na usivuke mwenzako. Najua kwa mmoja hapa wote. So anaangalia Israel sio? Israel, Jericho, Jerusalem, again, Jerusalem, Jericho, Israel, straight from Israel. Okay? Now let's do really fast. Sawa. Israel. The same way in Kenya, our president is not there, or he's incapacitated, or is out of the country. Who takes up the roles of the chapter? Assuming now the police is still around as it is right now, assuming a person there, all as a new and all, legally, how should we be putting it? Who should be taking out the responsibility? The deputy president. I do not teach you that systems need to work. So that the one day you become president, and you are deputy president, and you have this other side, and the other side, you know how to do it. What does it look like to do? That's not how we do it. Oh, man, sorry. Sawa. Roles of the Secretary General shall be elected together with other leaders. The roles: convening the assembly, introducing motions before the members, controlling deliberation during debates, adjourning or conclude of debate, submit deliberation to the chairperson of the assembly, any other role assigned by the assembly standing order, vote in case of a voter's tie. Okay? Underline that one. You will use it one day. Maybe that one will get you somewhere. Underline those very key points, that in the event where they are doing a vote and there is a tie, yani wanei wamesema 55 na kwanga nay, or for those in nays and ayes, okay? So if the ayes say nay 55, I say 55 and nays are 55, whoever is going to cut the tie is the speaker. It's not the speaker, it's the who? Secretary General. But now, if you compare this to the initial standing orders or the guidelines, these are the roles the speaker used to have, okay? Okay? Sinisawa? Roles of the organizing secretary, please read. 7.4 down there.
Every assembly shall be an organizing secretary shall be AOC, receiving reports, certifications or memoranda from committees and submit the same to the Secretary General.
Okay.
Receives communication from the Secretary General and chairperson process the same and share with the relevant bodies of the assembly. Keep records
We'll read for Sergeant at Arms. We'll read for Sergeant at Arms. Next. Tasoma hii.
Coordinate activities to the assembly committee. And other roles assigned by the chairperson.
Thank you. Clap for her. Roles of the Sergeant at Arms.
The vice secretary is the mess at the gates. He or she is the mess player. He or she is the bell ringer. Enforce directives of the Secretary General.
Note that the Sergeant at Arms shall have 2 assistants. Okay? Atakuwa na wase wawili wa kumsaidia. Simona kazi yake ni ile ya manpower.
Yeah.
Si ndio?
Yeah.
He's a mace bearer and the bell ringer. Okay? Roles of the committee secretaries, please. First.
There shall be 4 committee secretaries in charge of the 4 pillars: main, survival, development, protection, participation.
Okay, thank you. Next, Assembly Organizing Committee. Umeiona ndio next. Ama sio next? This is the next one, si ndio? Yes, up there as Organizing Committee.
The committee shall comprise of chairperson, secretary general, organizing secretary, 4 secretaries.
Their roles?
Provide interface between the KCA and Secretariat, arbitration of disputes, setting agenda of the day, sanctification of errant members and disciplinary measures, deliberate and secure welfare, develop rules of engagement that are area specific.
Wow, thank you. Clap for her. This is an assembly organizing committee. This was not in the 4 committees. Sindio? We had, which one did we have? Survival, protection, development, and participation. Now, this is a special committee, and I think this is the one the chairperson is going to be head of. Ambaye itakuwa inatake. Hii sasa kwa mambo ya governor politics ni kama assembly business, sawa, house business committee, whereby they shall be providing interface between the KCA and the secretariat. They shall arbitrate disputes. If a certain member from a certain county X has a dispute from a certain member from county Z, if they dispute, they shall be the people who shall do what? Resolve those disputes. They set agenda of the day. They shall set the motions, the bills that are going to be tabled in the floor of the House. They shall deliberate and secure the welfare and also develop rules of engagement that are an area specific. Okay? Sini sawa? Ni kama sasa kuja kuuliza watoto wa Nairobi kuhusu FGM. Whereas we know that there are specific areas that are FGM rampant. Okay? Sindio? So watakuwa wanajua hii issue iko more based kwa area gani. Sindio? Sindio? We know of certain areas that are so prone with FGM. My friend there from Mtoto News does very good work on FGM documentation. He will tell you later on. Look for him after the break. Atawaambia ni area gani amekuwa akifanya FGM yake, anaona si FGM yake, amekuwa akifanya his research on FGM, which areas are prone, Kuria, hivyo watakwambia, si ndio? So when they are setting an agenda, they will put those into consideration, si ndio? Si ndio? Yes. Okay? Yes. Sawa. Roles of the members of the assembly. The delegates will be responsible for tabling issues before the assemblies, deliberations, and voting. They shall also share the deliberation in the assembly to the children. Delegates will be responsible for tabling issues in the assembly. 1. They shall also share the deliberation. You have a responsibility. I told you. Maisha yetu, wajibu, we have a responsibility. We've come here. Government and other stakeholders have sat down and decided children should come here and discuss. You also have a responsibility when you go back home to teach them what you've learned here. Sindio? It is written here. It is not me saying, it is in your guidelines. Okay? Find a way of telling them what you learned here. Sini sawa? Then create awareness on child protection issues, receive reports on child protection issues to relevant authority, be peer educators and influencers among children. Now the rules of participation for KCA. Now this is very important. I want you to listen. 1. Include child participation shall be guided by child participation guidelines, page 7 to 10. 1 is eligibility. What? Leo tunasoma kizungu mingi. Eligibility means, are you really supposed to be here? Does the law allow to be here? Age 11 to 17 or according to their evolving capacity. Okay? Okay? Yes. We know that kuna a child who is 17 years old. Now, this is serious. Msicheke hapo mwisho, sawa? 17 years old, but their mental capacity, because of a health issue, cannot relate like a child who is 17 years. Okay? Mnanielewa? Ama ni explain kwa Kiswahili pia, si ndio? Yaani si mnajua kuna wale wako shule wanakuanga na mental health issues. Si ndio? Mara they have a hard time explaining themselves. They have a hard time learning. Si wale watu kwa number last kwa class. They have a health issue. And if they are not, the government has given a window of saying that in their own evolving capacities they can participate. Sini sawa? Kuna mtu ako 17 years old but mental capacity yake ni kama ya mtoto ako miaka 10. Anamwaga mate, hawezi enda choo peke yake, and they can walk, they can talk, they can do everything, but their capacity is the issue. Sini sawa? So whenever you're here, be sensitive to one another, okay? Okay? Unaweza kuwa ukiongelesha mtu anakuangalia hivi na si kupenda kwake. It is their health status, okay? I'm telling you this because you go even to the national level and you will engage with such children. In your areas, you have such children. Sindio? Yeah. Sindio? Yes. Sindio, educate. Yeah. So that you're sensitive to them. Be sensitive to their feelings. Be sensitive to their engagement. Sindio? Kuna mtu unamwambianga kitu ana take like 5 minutes before kujibu. Na si kwamba yeye ni kichwa ngumu ama nini, because they have that health issue. Sini sawa? Yes. The government has taken note of that. You see how we have a very good Department of Children Services. Sindio? Tuwapigie makofi moja. Sawa. Children vying for position in all levels of the assembly must be 16 years and below. So in this term, if you're here and you're 16 years and above, no, you're 17 years, sorry to say so, but you will not be vying for the assembly positions. You'll be just a member or a delegate. Because unajua ni kwa nini? Wacha nikwambie ndo nisiku hurt feelings, si ndio? Kwa sababu whenever you take let us go to point E. A member shall be elected for a period of 2 years but shall be re-elected for further 2 years subject to eligibility. In that, hizo miaka mbili zinafaa kuensure bado uko within the space. Sini sawa? Ukielekte ukiwa 17 years, the next time utachukuliwa ukiwa miaka ngapi? 19. You will not be a child. You will not be useful to the KCA. Somebody can just wake up and say, the chairperson of the Children Assembly is not rightful in office. He is a wrong office bearer. We have to impeach him. Sindio? Because you have passed the age limit. That is why they are telling you, make sure you're 16 years and below. Ndio ukielektea ukiwa 16 years, especially on your birthday, ukielektea on your birthday, after 2 years, you'll have to leave because you'll be 18 years. Sindio? Utakuwa above 18. Now explainia hiyo, ndo mkienda huko msikiwe na challenge mingi ya kuitisha kura. Sindio? Sindio? Na wenye bado wako like 12 years, they know they have a long way to come. They can vie. They can be chairperson at the age of 10. I want you to, not 10, you've been told 11. At 11, I can challenge me today. Sini sawa? Only children who are Kenyan citizens are eligible for leadership positions and voting. When we started in Kamukunji, my deputy speaker was from Ethiopia, but alikuwa amezaliwa huku. So ilileta issues as we were going on. Brenta can tell you, ilileta issues as you are going on. I'm not saying they fought the people of Ethiopia, no, but because of the standing orders, it had to be a Kenyan citizen. Sini sawa?
Yes.
Okay?
Yes.
Umenielewa?
Yes.
So itafika mahali mwitishadi birth certificate to confirm you are not Rwandese or you are not from Ghana. Okay? It is that serious. Okay? Ndio tusipate tuko na chairman ambaye hajafit this criteria. All children who wish to participate in the assembly must obtain consent from their parents' guardians through a consent form that you will be given or you have already been given. Okay? Na bila hiyo hata kupigwa picha, kuongea hapa, it is not secured. Okay? You have to have the consent of your parents, your guardian, or the school. Okay? All members shall be elected for a period of 2 years but shall be re-elected for further 2 years subject to eligibility. A member shall not serve for more than 2 terms. So, do not be somebody who wants kukwamia kwa kiti. Sindio? Sindio? Yeah. Like our neighbors in the other country, which I will not mention because I do not want to be quoted in the news. Sindio? Sindio? I do not want to be quoted in the news. Children vying and participating in Children Assembly must be of good character. Underline that one. I told you will underline the keyword. Good character. Uwe mtoto Mtoto mzuri. Mbona hapo mmenyamaza? Manyi si watoto wazuri. Mkwe watoto wazuri. Good character does not only mean mtoto mzuri. You listen, you pay attention, you talk when you're called to talk. Okay? Okay? Representation. In all assembly, each of the following age groups shall be represented: 11 to 13, age group 14 to 17, and then there must be at least a third representation of the total membership. Okay? At least kukuwe na a third from each of those groups. Ndio maana hapa kuna wangapi wako 11 years? Hands up. Usiogope miaka yako, hapa tuko kujajiana. Pia mimi niko 11 and a half. 11. Si ni ukweli? How old are you? 13. Very good. 14 years? 14. Wonderful. 17. Hapana, huyu ako 12. Si ndio? Waambie uko 12. Ameniambia ako 12. How old are you? 13. Wonderful. So you ukiitisha saa hii itakupata ukiwa na 15 years na ukupata ukiwa na 17 years. I'm not giving you guys ideas, no. I'm just suggesting that you're okay to vie, okay? KCA at the national level will be comprised of 188 members. 1:1 gender representation rule. Okay? Do I need to go into that? 1:1 girl. Hakuna ile mambo ya 2/3 hata saa hii. Ni 1:1. Kimeumana. Sema kimeumana. Kimeumana. 1 what? 1. You know our current parliament inaenda kuvunjwa very soon has not even constituted the 2/3 gender rule. Okay? Yeah. Okay? Yeah. So, msipofanya hivyo tutavunja. Hiyo yenyu tutavunja, tuwatume kwa ground tena mtishe kura, mkuje tena, si ndio? Si ndio? Yeah. Wangapi wajaelewa hapo? That there shall be 1:1. If the chairperson is a boy, the deputy chairperson shall be a girl. But now let's come back to a sub-county. The speaker shall have a deputy who is a female or a male, vice versa. And there shall be, if it is 2 boys, 2 girls. Sindio? Yeah. Okay? Yeah. There shall be 188 of you. So in case you reach the case at the national level and you are not 188, you are 240, make sure you call out and say the truth. Tuliambiwa tunafaa kuwa 188. Other levels of the Children Assembly will have 44 members with the 1:1 gender rule. This mainly applies to the organizing committee of the assembly. They shall know how they will distribute those numbers. Children with special needs shall have representation at all children assemblies. Okay? Okay? Yes. And sawa. Leadership, gender representation shall be 1:1 with an alternating position sharing between the alternate gender. When the chairperson is a boy, the vice shall be a girl, and vice versa. The first ever president of the Kenya Children Assembly was a girl. Okay? Okay? Mademo oe. Kaya ni wa mademo wako hapa. Mademo oe. Maboy naona dema naeka base. Sawa, tuendelee. Tenure of office bearer shall be 1 term of a 2-year period. Okay? And you have been told a maximum you shall only go for only 2 terms. Wewe kama umekuwa guru sana hautapita 2 terms. Okay? Proceedings shall be conducted physically and virtually. Official languages, here is what we talked about a while back. English, Swahili, and sign language shall be the only languages used in our proceedings. Okay? Yeah. In the proceedings, not in the capacity building. Right now we are doing capacity building, so tunaweza ongea sheng, si ndio? Yeah. Si ndio? Yeah. Lakini kwa assembly mtatumia Kiswahili sanifu na Kiingereza na kisha lugha ya ishara. Write that down. Lugha ya ishara, sign language. That is how it is called. Anakataa kuandika na ajui. Ni sawa tu. Utaniuliza nikienda lunch. A third of the assembly members shall constitute a quorum to transact assembly business. So, if they a forum of a third, you shall be ready to start the order of business. Sikungojea wale ambao wanachelewa. There shall be a standing orders to guide the proceedings. Meeting shall be held during school holidays. Okay? So in case usikie kulikuwa na assembly na shule hazikuwa zimefungwa, you have the right to go to office of the Department of Children Services, ask Madam Brenta, mbona mlitusahau? Si ndio? Election shall be an electoral code to guide them. So there is an electoral code ya kusema venye unafaa kutik, venye unafaa kutik, venye unafaa kucampaign, pesa unafaa kutumia kwa campaign, material unafaa kutumia kwa campaign, nani anaweza campaign, hadi siku gani, kwa nini. There is an electoral code of conduct. Sini sawa? Sini sawa? To guide your conduct during elections. Elections shall be physical or virtual, shall be conducted by a secret ballot. By-election shall be held in the case of relocation, missing prerequisite assembly sitting, resignation, gross misconduct as defined by the KCA standing orders, being in conflict with the law, and natural attrition. If, and God forbid, a member of the assembly, ameaga, the office will be rendered vacant. You'll now have to do an election to put another person in office, okay? Dress code shall be in school uniform or the KCA uniform. Sini sawa? Those two. Siku moja mtaenda mfukuzo huko na Secretary General because you are against, in contravention with the standing orders. You have to be in uniform, sawa? Or the KCA uniform. Discipline and complaint procedure is provided in the KCA Charter. Awards and sanctions, there shall be awards and rewards for members and leaders as determined by the KCA Secretariat. Children shall be allowed to propose and identify candidates for awards within yourselves. Yes, ask. Pardon?
Where can I get the KCA uniform?
Where can I get the KCA uniform, Madam Brenta? You will answer us. She will answer in due time, okay? There is a uniform. Hatujaiona bado, si ndio? Wangapi wameiona? Umeona tu watu wamevaa. Hata mimi niko na yangu kwa nyumba, sitawaonesha. Sawa. But it is there. She will tell you the right procedure. Sometimes they can decide they can decide on t-shirts and something, they will tell you in due time. Sini sawa?
Yeah.
Sini sawa?
Yeah.
Ndio uache kuvaa uniform kutoka January hadi January. Si ndio? Si ndio? Si ndio? Naongea point. Na sawa. Wazazi wanacheka juu mnafikanga home mnakataa kufua uniform na kesho bado mko na assembly. Si ndio? Tomorrow you have an assembly. Or you are in a hotel room at the Intercontinental Hotel. Today you had an assembly, tomorrow you have an assembly, umebeba shati moja. All those dynamics we shall look into. Sindio? For the best interest of the what? Of the child. Sini sawa? All that you are doing here is for your best interest. Children shall be allowed to propose and identify candidates for awards. There shall be sanctions for cases of indiscipline and misconduct as guided by the KCA Charter. If you behave in a manner that is unruly, that does not constitute order, utaekwa under sanctions. Utaambiwa keti hapo na hakuna kuongea. Or member delegate from such and such do not talk, or you are banned from this assembly, or somebody else shall be elected to fill your position. All those things. Administration of the KCA shall be a secretariat in the all children assembly headed by the children department. It shall comprise of officers appointed by the DCS and the KCA stakeholders. Their roles shall be NCCS to be co-opted at the Secretariat. 1. Assign and convene assemblies, assist in conducting assembly business, provision of professional guidance in conducting assembly business, resource mobilization, identifying, training and vetting of chaperones, This is work for Kina Brenta and people from the government and the stakeholders. The development and review of KCA documents, identification of children to represent KCA in forums at different levels, identify the schedules and duties of the secretaries. Okay? Remember the committees, the 4 pillars. The 4 committees, they shall give you the schedules. What shall you be doing, when, how, and by what means, okay? Financing and resource mobilization, I think hiyo itaongelelewa baadaye. We shall also, because we don't have finances right now, si ndio? Hiyo ni kazi ya kina Brenta, watatuambia. Resource mobilization strategy, watakuwa naandika proposal, hiyo ni yao. Monitoring and evaluation. Listen to this. Periodic monitoring shall be done at all levels as per the structure of the DCS. Assembly evaluation shall be done towards the end of its 2 years term. They shall also be doing reporting. Lucky enough, okay, down here, reporting. Reporting will be done by all levels of the Children Assembly and shall follow the formal structure adopted. All reports shall be forwarded to the successive levels and persons mandated within 2 years after the assembly session. Reporting will be 2 weeks, 2 weeks within after the assembly sessions. So after the assembly session, you have 2 weeks to make a report and forward it to the next level. Reporting will be done by chairperson at all levels to the successive levels of the assembly, the children officer in charge and assembly area jurisdiction, the director children services, the NCCS, and here is the last paragraph. The assemblies will report on various issues which will include meetings, activities, resources, identified issues and recommendation. It shall be done through narrative reports, publications, documentary, pictorial, and other evidences. That's why I was telling about pictures. Okay? That's why I'm telling about poems. You can do your summary. You can get as creative as possible. Okay. Until there. The reporting is taken very seriously because the reports we are doing for the Children Assembly, the Cabinet Secretary for Labor and Social Protection, Mr. Simon Chelugui, has to give a report to the African Committee of Experts on the rights and welfare of a child. Na anapeana zile issues tuliongelelea. Aendi kuweka vitu zake, zile issues zimeongelelea hapa zikaenda hadi kwa national. Ndio anaenda anapeana kwa huko. Ndio, that is why we have partners like Mtoto News who usually give us such feedbacks. Wanatuambia today the CS spoke on, na maybe hiyo siku CS atapigia Brenta amuulize what specifically the days to, what specifically the children talk about, and then you'll forward it to the CS's office. He shall do the reporting. Up to there, who now knows about the KCA? Who now knows about the KCA? Who does not know? Okay, all of you please raise your hand. Who is confused? This is where you raise your hand. Who is confused? Because you neither raise on who knows or who does not know. So you are confused. Ama tumechoka? No. Si tumechoka? Tukubali tu tumechoka, si ndio? But it was fun. Yes. Was it fun?
Yes.
Have we learned?
Yes.
Was it informative?
Yes.
Do you have a lot of information about the Children Assembly?
Yes.
If you have done ourselves justice, please give us one clap. If you are ready to the next session, ambayo sana sana, nimesikia kitunguu imenukia, so don't worry. I'm as hungry as you are, okay? Sindio? Lakini tumelan. Tuko na swali. Because I don't think tutakuwa na nafasi ingine within these 2 days ya kuuliza maswali ya hapa. Kunalo swali, apart from the one for uniform you've taken note of, and the others. We are now okay, sindio?
Yes.
We are okay?
Yes.
Tunashukuru Mungu.
Yeah.
Sindio?
Yes.
I think we've talked for a while. Let us just stretch where we are seated. Just stretch. We are going to welcome the next speaker. Purity, tafadhali karibia. Wangapi wenyu wamejibamba? I hope sijabo. Hata kama nimebosi nionyeshe. Okay, thank you. Now, in case you see me somewhere, talking about politics, either on TV, in your neighborhood, make sure you tell them, I know that guy. Sindio?
Yes.
I know that teacher. Sindio?
Yes.
Teacher who? Brian. I'm not a professional teacher, but I enjoy interacting with you guys. Sindio?
Yes.
Seta mimi nimelan?
Yes.
Wangapi wajui jina yangu? Naitwa Brian. Yes, thank you. I knew there was somebody who did not know my name. Yes? Uliza. Tumesema hapa to judge. Pass. Okay. Purity. Let's welcome Purity with a round of applause. We are sorry for taking time, but tumelan.
That was very heavy material. And if there's anything I have learned, is that you guys are smart. The beginning of hope. So I appreciate you guys for your patience. Mmekuwa wapoa sana. Now, right before we go for lunch, Jota food haija come. So as we wait for the food to come, we are going for another session. But this one is going to be an interesting session because nani anajua child helpline ni kina nani? Okay, nani ashaisikia child helpline? Mshaisikia? I want us all together to shout that number. Ni? 116. One more time for those people who did not know. 116. Amazing. So I'm going to invite Child Helpline, wakam, wabonge na sisi because we have counselors with us. Sawa. Mimi ni psychologist and we do the same thing. We talk about matters that affect people to understand their behavior. Sawa sawa? Okay? So we are going to have girls and boys because different issues zina affect different genders. See you? Yes. Right? Yeah. So in the next 30 minutes we are going to have wasewa Child Helpline wakuje watungeleshe. So we can have girls on this side and boys on this side. So tuchangamke haraka as they come. Sindo? Changamke. Oh, just a moment before you do, kuna hizi nini zina go around, forms za kuandika. So wacha waje wakizungumza nasi kwa jumla. Let the form imalize kwenda round. Sawa? Yes. Please do come, introduce yourselves. Then I think from there mtatume. Yes. Willie, check your time. Yeah?
There you go.
Thank you.
In here for the live stream.
Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Karibuni.
Good afternoon. Habari zenyu? Mko wazima? Yes. Lakini I hope hatujasikia njaa sana. Si ndio? Dakika 30 kidogo alafu tutaendelea. Majina yangu naitwa Moses, lakini ikiitwa Mose nasikianga mzuri sana. Na nimetoka 116 na tuko na colleague wangu hapa anaitwa Magda. Tumekuja hapa ili tuweze kuongea. Si tumesikia tunajua 116. So kama vile Purity ametuambia, ningependa tu separate boys wakuje side moja, girls wakuje side nyingine and then we are going to kuongea pamoja. Si ni kweli? But before, wacha nipatie my colleague.
Saseni? Mko poa? Mmeambiwa naitwa nani? Naitwa nani? Mmeshikwa na njaa? Naitwa Magdalene, tunafanya na Mose kwa helpline. Mnajua helpline? Huwa mnapiga simu kwa helpline? Kufanya nini? Ati mtu mmoja? Kufanya nini? Helpline ni ya nini? Ni ya usaidizi. Usaidizi mgani? Ya watoto. So tunafanya kwa helpline na tunapenda watoto, tunapenda kuwasikiza. So tutakuwa na ka short session, ka interactive. Si mtaongea? Tutaongea sisi wote, si ndio? So boys watakaa mahali and then girls mahali and then tufanye haraka ndio tukule lunch, si ndio? Sawa. Maboy wanaweza enda huko nyuma then Is 120. Nasikia ijafika. Kwa sawa? So partners na DCS tutaomba relax tu mahali nje kidogo. Then boys watakaa pale nyuma, then girls hapa. Then it will be a very short session. So please mnaweza tu kaa mahali. Tufanye haraka, changamkeni. Tukae tu mahali hapa, girls, boys pale.
Kila mtu achukue kiti yake. Kila mtu achukue kiti yake.
Shika. I don't think I need this. I don't think I need this. I'm done with this. Oh, sure. Yeah.
Thank you very much. You've been watching this Starehe Sub-County Children's Assembly. We are now heading to a conversation to get you understand about a little bit about the Children's Assembly and today's event that is aimed at ensuring that children get an opportunity to have more and better participation in decision making, among other things. This is just one of the events that we expect to continue between today and Friday, where children assemblies are going to be engaged in electing their own leaders. Remember, this is a very important thing in ensuring that children are raised in a manner that they understand making decisions and they understand issues that affect them. And today we are here at Starehe Sub-County. This is a Kariako Social Hall where we are having the official launch of the Starehe Sub-County Children's Assembly, one among other children's assemblies across the country that are being done to ensure that children are getting the opportunity to participate in issues that affect their rights. And I'm going to have several conversations with several people that are making sure that this event is successful, and among them we're going to talk to people from the Directorate of Children's Services, that is Starehe Sub-County. And this is an event that has been sponsored by USAID, World Vision. We have the Department of Children's Services. We have the Good Neighbors Kenya. We have Pendekezo Letu. We have Child Fund, and we have Mtoto News, among other sponsors that are ensuring that this event comes to you live, and ensuring that this event happens. This is a very, very important event to make sure that we advance the rights of children. So I'm going to have a conversation with some people here, which is very, very important, and they're going to explain to us what this is about. They're going to explain to us why this is important, and why such an event is very, very important in ensuring that we advance the rights of children. And later on, we are also going to have a conversation with children so that they tell us how they feel about the event, how they feel that maybe the government should do to ensure that such things are done to ensure their rights are advanced, and to ensure that they participate in issues that affect them. So maybe I can just start with Mora. Let me start a conversation with one of us here. Mora is actually, she facilitated one of the sessions here. Mora, you are also in the Children's Assembly. Tell us a little bit about the Children's Assembly for the person that is watching for the first time. Tell us a little bit about it, and how important is it when you are a child at that time?
Okay.
Yes.
Hello, my name is Mora, and a couple of years back I was part of the Children's Assembly, and first of all, I think it was one of the most transformative phases of my life, because not only did I learn about my rights as a child, I also learned about what I can do, that I can actually make an impact, and that does something to you as a child when you know you have the power. Because often when you look at children, tunaangalia kama just people to be seen, and they cannot do anything, powerless and vulnerable. But if you empower a child, they have the ability to kiakili, they have the ability to actually work and put work to ensure change comes. So
well, like, how has it impacted you to making you maybe the kind of a person that you are today? You are very noisy, Mora. Did the Children's Assembly play a role in making sure that you're the way you are today?
First of all, yes. I would like to say I'm more talkative and proactive than noisy. But yes, because I was given a chance to lead. And when you have the chance to lead, you speak on behalf of other people. And that means you have to your voice has to be elevated. You have to speak up because hujizungumzi tu, unazungumzia watu wengine. Unaona? So that the fact that I was more confident, I was able to lead, not just as a KCA member in school, in groups. I was able to put my best foot forward and say I can take a position. So
you know, for me, I was actually shocked when I heard about KCA, Kenya Children's Assembly. You know, these are new. Is it a new thing? Is it something that has been there? Is it because, you know, I just heard about it recently, and there is maybe someone that is you know, getting to hear about Kenya Children's Assembly today when as we have this conversation. So maybe tell us a little bit about it. What does the Children's Assembly do, and what were you doing when you were there?
It's quite interesting that most people do not know about the Children's Assembly. I wish more people would know, would learn about it. And first of all, Kenya Children's Assembly, ni kama the one we have in Kenya, the big assembly where we have people sitting down to talk about issues that affect the country, people and all that. Now take that, but for children. Children talk about their issues, learning about their rights and being proactive to engage in talks with stakeholders, with the government about the same things. So that is what Kenya Children's Assembly is. It's children of this country for this country, and they go through a democratic process. So there's an election that takes place, then the leaders are chosen, we have delegates, so it's a whole system that has been put in place. Yes, that's what it is.
All right, thank you very much, Maura. Maybe I'll request one of the organizers here to speak to us. She's coming. That is Brenta, one of the organizers of this event. She will be able to tell us more about the Children's Assembly. Maybe just if you could just maybe introduce yourself and tell us a little bit more about what you do.
Okay. My name is Brenta Muli. Brenta is a children officer. I face that. Brenta is a children officer at Starehe Sub-County Children Office. Yes, an assistant director, children services. And what we do, I'm in charge of Starehe Sub-County, and we are guided by the Children's Act, whereby we are looking at the mandates of the Children's Department, whereby we look at the welfare and the rights of the children within our areas of jurisdiction. And one of our things we are doing today is we are doing the aspect of child participation, which is one of the pillars of the children's rights. And in the child participation, we want to give children an opportunity where they can be heard, they can hear their views, bearing in mind we are in a season where COVID has hit us very hard, and they have been faced with different issues, different circumstances, and they have a lot of issues they need to just hear out. So we are giving them this opportunity for them to be able to be here with us for 2 days, and as we launch the Starehe Sub-County Children Assembly. Yes.
Yes. Maybe for the person that is, maybe someone might be watching you today, and they are just hearing about the launch of the Starehe Sub-County Children's Assembly. Maybe tell us a little bit more about what does the Children's Assembly do?
Okay. Children Assembly, as I had told you, we are advancing the pillar of child participation, which is one of the rights of the children, and a Children's Assembly is one of these forums. We have many other forums which are available for children to air their issues, and Children Assembly is one of the forums we have in the Department of Children Services. Yes.
And maybe what criteria do you use to select the children that are participating in this process?
Okay. Like for our case in Starehe Sub-County, we have 6 wards. And we were able to be guided by the vastness of the area, and we looked at the different wards, and we were able to identify the schools within the different wards, and we gave the Minister of Education an opportunity to be able to guide us on the schools with the highest number of children. So we were guided by the population of the children in those schools. We were looking at the public schools and also private schools. So based on that, we narrowed down to and distributed the numbers to the different schools within Starehe Sub-County. So we have a representation of all the wards in the Starehe Sub-County.
Yeah, maybe someone might be asking, looking at the children, we don't really see maybe the disabled children and other people maybe living with these other disabilities.
We have a child. We have city primary within Starehe sub-county, which handles children with special needs, and they have a representation of 2 children, but it's physical disability. Yes, so they are represented.
Okay. Then what are some of the things that we expect between today and tomorrow? I understand this is a 2-day event that is happening here.
Okay. What we are expecting is that children will be taken through what is KCA, Kenya Children Assembly. They'll be taken through all the guiding principles about Children Assembly. They'll be taken about the documentation, the operational guidelines, the functions, the motto, and what is expected of them as the members of the Kenya Children Assembly for Starehe sub-county. And we are expecting by tomorrow we will be able to elect the leadership of the Starehe sub-county Children Assembly. Yes.
Now after the election that happens tomorrow, what next? Are there activities that maybe children are going to engage in to keep them busy to make sure that they make decisions, or it's just the election and that is it?
Okay, after the election, we usually have a structure based on the operational guidelines for the Children Assembly. We have a structure at the national level, which is the National Children Assembly, then a structure at the county level, and a structure at the sub-county. So we are the sub-county, and we are expecting the children who will be elected as the leaders, then they will represent the children in Starehe at the county assembly, which will be held probably next week. And we are hoping that once they get at the county, they will do their leadership of the county, then they will elect their leadership who will represent them at the national. So basically, once they meet at every given level, they discuss issues that affect them at that particular level. So they will escalate those issues, and they will represent the issues at the county, and also the issues represented at the county, they will also represent the issues at the national level. So we believe this is like a bottom-up way of getting views of children from the sub-county, county, and national, which would inform on the policies. They will also be able to give us feedback on the services the government has been doing, both private and the public, and we'll be able to measure whether the service delivery is really getting to the children, and also get their feedback on how they feel on the different thematic areas. Yes.
Maybe just to ask, do you have any structure, maybe a way to link these children with their own leaders? For example, in Starehe sub-county, we have the Member of Parliament, Mr. Jaguar, and other representatives. Do you in any way link them with their leaders, and so that they can have these direct conversations with them?
Definitely, we intend to do that, and the office of the MP is aware that we are having this forum today, and it's only that they were not able to send a representation, but they are fully aware of what is happening. So in future, we intend to engage them more so that they can get the views of the children, even for the MCAs at the different levels. Yes.
So what's the program for tomorrow?
The program for tomorrow will be so exciting because they will be given an opportunity to nominate themselves and say they want to vie for the different elections, for the different positions. So once they nominate themselves, then they will be given an opportunity to just talk to the members about, once they are elected, what they intend to do, how they will represent them. So we will have debates tomorrow for the children who will be vying for the different positions, which will be very exciting. We are looking forward for that. So once they give their debates, the portfolios, they sell their portfolios, then we'll give them an opportunity to campaign. They talk to the other children about, so that they can be elected. So once they do the campaigns, then we'll have already set up the polling station whereby they will come in and now elect the leaders based on the nominations. So we have a new structure of the operational guidelines. So we'll be electing the speaker, the deputy speaker, will be electing the sergeant at arms and the clerk. And the members will be given an opportunity to indicate whether they want to be chairpersons of the 4 thematic pillars: the survival, development, participation, and survival, development, and participation. So they'll be given an opportunity to identify who would want to be the chairs of that thematic areas, the committee. Yes.
All right.
Yes.
All right. Thank you very much. Maybe do you have a budget for children? And maybe does government give a budget for children, maybe for these activities?
Definitely, yes. I know there's a budget that is set for these activities, but the budget is only given up to the county level. So we are hoping, given more resources, then the budget will still trickle down to the sub-counties. Yes.
All right.
Yeah. So basically, what we have been able to do, we have been able to mobilize resources within our partners who have been able to support us in kind, technically, and also financially, to be able to hold this forum.
All right.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. Unless you have something else, do you have anything that you'd like to say to the viewers?
No, I would just want to appreciate and tell them that children are very great people, and if they are given an opportunity, then you can be able to dialogue with them, speak to them. They will be able to have a conversation with you, which would be very good. So we want to tell the viewers that it's always good for them to be able to give children an opportunity. So we are asking the parents, the caregivers, the teachers, kindly to listen to the children. Just listen to them, and you will be able to move together and have a dialogue and have a conversation on the issues that affect them. Thank you.
All right. Thank you very much, Brenda, for your time. I really appreciate. Maybe we'll have a more conversation later on.
Thank you.
All right. Asante sana. So that is Brenda. She's the coordinator. She's the one coordinating this event here at the Starehe. We are in Karioko. That is at Karioko's town hall. That is we are in Karioko Town Hall, that is in Starehe sub-county, where we are having the launch of the Children's Assembly. It's just one among other children's assemblies that are there across the country. And today and tomorrow, we shall be here to update you or to give you more information about what is happening here. And because today was just about sensitization about the children's rights, among other things. And now tomorrow, we shall be here. And IEBC will be here to conduct the elections after the nominations and the campaigns that will be happening here. So this is a real reflection of what happens in the political scene. The only difference maybe might be the chaos that happen in other political rallies that are being done by our politicians, that maybe children might do things differently, and that is why it's important to involve them in this decision making. So just to give you some feedback here, there are people who are watching. Someone here is saying great engagement with the children. Thank you very much. Good job. God bless you all. Thank you. Emily Mbesa says good work, Brenta. Brenta was the one who was here and the team. Big up to the children. And Brian, great work, Brenta. God bless you, Brenta. Great work. Damaris Kasula says great work, Brenta. Keep it up. Salome Mudama says wonderful, Brenta. Keep up the good work. Regina Mbithe says good job, Brenta. Keep it up. And Priscilla Mukiri says wow, a great day for our children, Starehe sub-county. Woye. Asante sana. Then Calvin Ngundo says God bless you, Brenta. Asanteni sana, everybody. Now we have another child. Sorry, this is not a child now. He's a former Children's Assembly do I say member or a speaker, but karibu sana. And this guy, I'm told he's contesting, but he'll tell us a little bit more about it. Karibu sana, Mheshimiwa. Do I call you Mheshimiwa?
Yeah, rightfully. Thank you.
No, I have not.
We are manifesting.
Yeah. So Brian, karibu sana, and welcome to. I'm so happy to see you here because we were working together some time back, and now you decided to venture into something else. Tell us a little bit about more about the Children's Assembly and why you are here today.
Okay, thank you so much, Collins. Also for the organizing team for this very wonderful session. We are here for the very reason to bring the voices of children, to make them as loud as possible, because we noticed for a very long time that government is not listening to the voices of children whenever they are making decisions. So today we decided to call upon children of Starehe the largest Starehe sub-county, and especially people, children from the schools, from the villages to come down and decide. This is a voice of children on specific regulations, on specific policy work, on specific implementations of the law. So that is why we are trying to build a platform where children are able to participate in policy formulation, in decision making, in planning and budgeting of itself, and also in a way try and educate them about our election cycle. That is why I'm here. Years ago I was a child. I was a member of the Kenya Children Assembly. At the national level I held the seat of the speaker, the national speaker. So I speak from a point where I have experienced the entire process and in its succession and where we failed. So we are trying just to work with the Department of Children Services, the NCCSS, and also the other partners to try and to lock out the challenges that are affecting us back then and try and make it a better forum.
By the way, Brian, I know you might not be the right person maybe to answer this question, but I think I'm only hearing about the Children's Assembly here in Nairobi. Do we have these assemblies across the country?
Thank you. There should be 47 county assemblies all over, and ideally they should be working also from the ward level or the location level. So at least we should, the idea of the government was to make sure that these assemblies are running from the location itself. So initially it was there, but we know of challenges of funding. I'm just speaking as a person who experienced it, not as the people who are in charge of the funding, but I know there are challenges of funding here and there because I've been in the system for more than 10 years. I know where the loopholes were. Also the issues of fights or the peace. There was no peace in certain areas. So bringing children in a specific area to come and participate in, it was very challenging.
So don't you think, Brian, by saying that, the budgets maybe can be a challenge, aren't we denying children the first right that they have, the right to participation, in the name of maybe no funding, yet other things are running?
Collins, there are 4 pillars in any child rights: survival, developmental, protection, and then later on the government now will look at participation as an addition. If its budget allows it to go through the other 3 pillars, then extending to the 4th one, because now I'm going into government, hopefully, I know that government will try and majorly fund the 3 first pillars: survival, protection, and developmental. And then now they will start looking at, can we now call children to participate? I know the budgeting is the real issue.
Now my question is, if you're talking about survival, you're talking about protection and all that, I think the first pillar that should come first is participation, because participation facilitates other pillars, because you can't tell me you want a child to develop without making them participate in that development. How? Because ideally that is how it should be.
Ideally that is how it should be. All the pillars will be, get my point, no pillar is greater than the other. Not are we saying that participation is less than survival or less than protection, but government tries and puts its priorities in place. If it is easier for them to do protection, then they will work on that first. Then participation allows for them to get feedback if these other 3 pillars are working. Because when you call children in a certain forum, we'll ask them, are you protected back at home? Are you protected by the Constitution? Are you protected by the Children's Act? Then later on is now participation comes as a result of the fulfillment or the failure to fulfillment of the other 3 pillars. But I know our government is trying a lot. The Department of Children Services tries a lot. The NCCS tries a lot. They also work with very wonderful stakeholders who fund the forums. But money is always the issue, and going into money is another debate on its own. Yes.
Now you're saying about that, and because it's always important to consider children, and their voice is very important. Now tell us about you've just said you're going for politics now. I want to hear first of all, what is motivating you to venture into politics?
Wow. First, it has always inherent in me to want to run for office, and also the fact that I'm seeing systems not being in place, systems of governance not being used in the right way. let's take for instance sustainable waste management, waste management. If at all as a community we cannot manage our waste in the right way, then that for me is a bulb lighting in my head, because as a community we need to sit down and decide on certain priorities. So I'm not running for office for myself. That needs to go into record. I'm running for office to make sure that the lives of people of Ziwani and Kariako are changed through the very things that we have in our community. No, we are not going outside and looking for loans or going outside to look for opportunities. In amongst ourselves, we have opportunities that have not been tapped into.
Now, let's go straight to what do you want to do for children? That is my main question, actually.
Yes. Now, for children, my manifesto, luckily, sorry, I'm not bragging or saying anything, but I'm the only candidate who was proven to have a manifesto, a 50-page manifesto. And my first priority will be children. When I get into office, even with the summary that I've carried today, my first page is looking into the allocation of bursaries. I know a lot of people in Ziwani Kariako have a challenge, especially in affordability of education. I know our education to some extent is expensive, to some extent it is not. But in trying to use the word development fund to provide bursary allocation for these children, one will not only look at giving just any child, we look at is this child really eligible for this thing. Second of all, how easily can these things be accessed? Is my office as the MCA accessible to the children, to the guardians, to the parents of this area? The second thing that we look into is social protection of children. We will try and reduce. We were doing another report the other day about the violence against children in my area, and we noticed that there's been a spike, especially when schools are closed. So we're going to try and provide forums for them to come and tell us what is really bringing a rise in pregnancies in the area. Why are we seeing children in Ziwani Kariako are not shining in sports and culture? Can we teach them on that? We're also going to try as much as possible and create avenues for them to participate alongside KCA. Others for them to participate. I know there are those of them who know how to do art and design. There are those of them who know how to participate in sports better. We try and give them a platform. The other thing that we're going to do and try for the children of Ziwani Kariako is build playgrounds. We do not have playgrounds, let me tell you, Collins. If next time you come, we'll walk around with your entire crew and you will see we don't have playgrounds for children in Ziwani Kariako. And the ones that are there are only 3. They are not child friendly. They are not secured from land grabbers. They're not secured. They are also hazardous. You go to a certain place, doesn't have the right carpet, doesn't have the right security. Even the ground itself is not friendly to the people who are coming. We will try and entice the investors to come and invest in child-friendly spaces.
Now let's talk now about what contribution has the Children's Assembly, your participation in the Kenya's Children's Assembly. How has it maybe helped you to be who you are today and even to have the ambitions that you have right now? What contribution has it had?
Thank you. Lucky enough, I joined KCA when I was 12 years, and for the last 10 years I've learned a lot. I've learned, one, to be a greater leader, not putting myself ahead of the people I represent. Because even at the national level, even at the international level, I would carry the views of children from all across, from Lodwar to Turkana to Mombasa to Lamu, and I had to carry all those children in the same basket, and I had to represent. So it has taught me the virtue of humility and trying and listening to each and every person. The other thing that the KC has equipped me with is policy formulation. Let me tell you, lucky enough, I was in the committee that sat down and drafted the current children's bill that is now in Parliament. My views and the views of the children I was representing are in that document. So as compared to my competitors, I have a history in policy formulation, and I know how policy should be done. And because surprising enough, the MCA seat should be taken with as much weight as possible and try and give it the responsibility, because the responsibility of an MCA are 3: representation, legislation, and also maybe manage the ward development fund. So in terms of representation, I've done that so very well. My track record is in record. I've held leadership positions not only in Kariako Ziwani but even outside. and in terms of policy formulation as well.
All right, thank you very much. Maybe what will be your recommendation to government, especially to the Department of Children's Services and the NCCS and other government departments that deal with children directly?
Thank you. This is a conversation that we usually have with them because I work with a lot of them on a daily basis. So the most important thing that the biggest challenge that we have as a children assembly or in child participation is the lack of funding. So if stakeholders, if the NCCS or if the Department of Children's Services could sit down and see avenues of resource mobilization, we could really fund everything that comes on board, because a lot of times when we gather children, we have to give them transport back at home. We have to offer them food. We have to pay the facilitators. So a lot of times we need to make sure that funding is there. The other thing is capacity building. Ensure that these children are equipped with the right responsibility, they are equipped with the right skills to go out there and share with the other children, because we find at times that today we've met with around 60 of them. It is very unfortunate that the report that will come from here will only be targeting the 60. We want a system whereby these 60 will go and impact another 500 or 5,000 of them. So in as much as we have very few children because of the funding, we are a bit squeezed because of the numbers. We'll have now to increase the impact so it can reach as many children as possible.
All right, thank you very much, Brian. I know you are a politician, and if I give you time, you can talk. So, but I really appreciate for your time, and I'm happy that the Children's Assembly has really helped you to date, and you're becoming a better and better person in terms of policy, in terms of decision making, in terms of enlightening other children on matters related to them. Thank you so much. All right, thank you very much. So just to remind you that we still have children here. It's only that the station that children are currently, we cannot film it because there are a bit maybe sensitive issues, and will not want to film them. But after this session, we are going to bring the other sessions to you. But let me have another stakeholder that is joining us right now. Karibu sana. Maybe you could just tell us about yourself. Look at the camera and tell us about yourself and what you do.
Okay, I'm Carol Werati Mbuthia. I'm from DCS Starehe, Children Department.
All right.
Yes.
So, karibu sana. So, tell us a little bit about, how important is such a forum as we are here. It's my first time actually reporting about this, okay. And how important is such a forum to children and to the community in general?
Okay, thank you so much. The forum is important to children and the community in general because it expands the scope of children in general, and also parents to know how to take care of their children even better, and knowing the importance of children get to know about themselves even deeper. We get to touch on online sexual exploitations. Children get to express themselves to our counselors, because in the forum we also have counselors in session. Yes.
All right.
Yes.
So maybe just coming from these years, how impactful have you seen this maybe such forum to be in your maybe past experience? I may not know how long you worked with these years, okay. But I'm sure maybe you've had such forums before.
Yes. Thank you so much. The forum has had a lot of impact on children, because when children leave this forum, they go and educate other children on the importance of we get to teach the children on if it's, for example, on in the DCS we have different types of things on what affects children. So they go and get to educate other children on that, and also their parents, so that when something happens to them, they can be able to know what exactly is happening and express it out.
Now, like today you are having about only 60 children.
Yes, 60.
Maybe don't you think this is a forum that should be expanded to to cover a lot more children, or even be maybe be done in schools and all that?
Okay, the forum gets to touch on different children in different areas. For example, like today and tomorrow we are having it in Starehe. Some other days we're having it in other sub-counties. So it gets to touch every sub-county. It helps all around, yes.
Maybe how do you involve other children now that are not here? How are they involved in the process?
So how they're involved in the process is this forum, from here it moves to the county. So from the county, they are able to assess and see the problems that the children are having in general. So from there, they can be able to know if it's now, if the forum was held in Starehe, they get to move it out to other sub-counties, because what they are facing is what other children are also facing outside there. Yes.
I understand budgeting is one of the key challenges that is affecting, maybe is the reason why this forum cannot be expanded, or maybe do you think could there be any plans maybe to increase budgeting for the Kenya Children's Assembly and other things that touch on children?
On the plans, I may not know what plans are there, but it is important that we get more funders, because like in this forum we have very few funders who've come out to support us in the project. So if in the next forum, if we'll get other funders, it will be good for us, because we will get to have it for even more days. Yes.
All right. Yeah. All right. So how important is maybe IEBC in this process? I understand IEBC is one of the IEBC are coming to conduct the election tomorrow. How important? Why did you guys choose IEBC?
Okay, thank you. Because when it is done maybe by one of them, or if, for example, we had teachers, probably it might have been biased, but IEBC it's a neutral body on its own. So we get to do it. It's good for neutrality. Yes.
Yes. And maybe what lessons can children learn? Given that this is an electioneering period in Kenya, and they must be learning 1, 2, 3. Are there do's and don'ts in their campaigns?
Do's and don'ts in their campaigns. I don't think there are, but from this, what they will learn is peaceful elections, because peaceful and free and peaceful elections. Yes, that is what will be there in these elections. That is what they are going to learn here. Yes.
Maybe what could be your closing remarks?
Closing remarks is that such children assembly functions should be done more often, probably in a year, in sub-counties, county-wide. Yes, that are my remarks.
All right, thank you very much.
Okay, thank you.
I really appreciate for your time. All right, thank you very much. That was one of the guests from this year's. We were having another conversation with her. And remember, this session continues. We are having children in another session that we cannot film, but we are involving stakeholders just to get to understand why the Children's Assembly is important and why participation of children is important. I understand, the Children's Assembly is mostly here in Nairobi, and they have also been trying to expand into other parts of the country. However, due to financial challenges, they haven't been able to do that. And that is one of the things that really needs to be touched even by government and other stakeholders, to make sure that children are given the opportunity to participate equally across the country. A child in Turkana has a right also to participate, just as a child in Nairobi, a child in Busia County, and maybe Garissa should be given the same opportunity to participate, just as a child in Kisumu. Let me now welcome another stakeholder from Child Fund, so that she can tell us a little bit about what she feels about this forum. Karibu sana.
Asante.
Just tell us about your name and what you do at Child Fund.
My name is Beatrice Moema. I'm the project officer for the Tuchanuke Online Child Protection Project. And we are implementing that project in Nairobi and Kiambu counties. In Nairobi, we are doing it in Starehe and Kasarani sub-counties.
Yeah, maybe but just getting to understand from you, the online child protection. How important is online child protection at this age where internet is all over and children have access to internet?
You see, initially, stakeholders and children in child protection and also the community and children have been focusing on the traditional child protection or traditional forms of abuse. But looking at the current situation where everybody has gone online and including children, and the online space is unprotected space for the children, a space which is borderless. So it is very important for us all stakeholders, including children, to understand the risks that are there as young people interact with the online space, and for children also to understand these risks and to be able to protect themselves. So that means they need to participate in their own protection when it comes to online risks, and also to know where do they get help in case they've been exploited online.
So now we are in the Kenya Children's Assembly. How do you link child protection online child protection and the Children's Assembly?
Looking at the Child Assembly, it's a space that gives a child an opportunity to participate and to air their views. So if the child is able to understand that we have these risks that are affecting us when we are on the online space, then they will be able to talk, or they will be able to sensitize the other children, especially when it comes to interacting with the internet. They will also be able to share, they are able to tell stakeholders what exactly they are going through whenever they are accessing the internet, and what they want done as they access the internet if they are experiencing any forms of abuse or exploitation whenever they're in that space. Yeah.
Maybe what has been some of the findings maybe in as you try to engage children on online sexual abuse and online abuse in general? What has been your key maybe findings around Starehe sub-county?
Children have access to the online space through their gadgets, or even a borrowed gadget like a phone or a laptop or a computer. And when these children access the space, the online space, most of the time they don't know that they're being exploited. For instance, a child will have a friend online whom they will chat, and because they develop this trust, then they think because we are in a relationship, in quotes, then they will be free to even share their nude photos online. But at this point, the child doesn't know that they're going through any exploitation. So that has really been reported as we do our sessions at the community level. And also something else is that when a child is being exploited online, most of the time they don't want to come out and say that, yes, I'm going through this exploitation. So we've been empowering children to, it is okay, it is not their fault, because most of the time they're participating in sharing these child sexual abuse materials online. So we share with them it's okay to open up, it's okay, it's not your fault that you are going through this exploitation, so feel free and talk to someone whom you trust. And most of the time we are advising them to call 116, which is an anonymous helpline number for children, and a place where they will not be victimized when they report such abuse.
Now this is a big day for children, and tomorrow is also going to be a big day for them. What message do you have to every Kenyan about child participation and just involving children in decision making?
First is to tell the Kenyans that child protection is a responsibility of every person. So let us protect our children, and also for the young people and the children, let us take responsibility. Let us participate in our own protection.
So child participation begins at home, and everybody has a responsibility.
Yes.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Asante sana. All right, thank you very much. That was another stakeholder from Child Fund, and they have a project here in Starehe sub-county that ensures, children are protected online. That is a big issue that needs to be protected, and every child has a right to be protected. That is a right. That is not, they don't have to beg to be protected, and that's why we are all here to ensure that they participate in issues that affect them through the Kenya Children's Assembly. Now, I still have another stakeholder, but just to remind you that we are doing these interviews because we are ideally we are supposed to be filming children participating, but children are currently in sessions that we cannot film because of maybe other reasons, but we shall get back to them later on to continue with other sessions. Let me get to another stakeholder. Karibu sana. Feel welcome. Just maybe tell us what is your name and what do you do?
Okay, so my name is Catherine Ndanu, and I work with Rescue Data Center, where we work with rescuing, rehabilitating and reintegrating children back to the community. Yes. Wow,
Rescue Data Center. Thank you very much. So maybe how important, what do you think about the Children's Assembly?
What I think is that it's a platform that is due for the children, that they take part, they participate, because we don't want to make decisions for them without involving them, because also they know the challenges they face and they have a voice. It's also a way of building their confidence and telling them they can have a voice in the society that we live in. Yeah.
Okay. So what role does the Children's Assembly play in maybe the children that you rescue and the girls that you rescue and take care of them?
The Children's Assembly is giving them a platform to contribute in things to do with their rehabilitation, the needs that they have, and even when it comes to reintegration, because one of the main challenges we've come across is when you want to reintegrate the children back to the community feels like, this child was on the street, so why is she or he coming back, So when the children have this space and this platform to speak out, to give their opinion, the community will get that feedback and they will understand that, yes, this child has been rehabilitated, they are part of our community and we should accommodate them. Yeah.
All right. So now, do you have maybe any other children that have been into this program before, the Children's Assembly before, and maybe you've had an impact with them? Do you have any?
It's the first time we are taking part.
Oh, it's the first time you're taking part. Yes. And maybe what are you expecting, maybe giving them the opportunity to participate in this project, in this the Children's Assembly? What are your expectations as a children's home or rehabilitation center?
So our expectation is that as the children take part, having this as the first group, one, they'll be able to gain their own ground for confidence, for leadership, for knowledge, and also to be part of the wider community of children that are empowered. And they'll also set a pace to their peers who are either in the center or those who are come later. They can always have something to look up to and say, if this girl did it, I can also do it. So they'll set a pace for the others that are forthcoming.
Okay. Yeah. So how many girls have you brought here?
2 girls.
2 girls, and maybe in your own center, how did you select them? How do you come up and say, where you're going to represent us at the Children's Assembly?
Okay, Maweo is supposed to do elections, but for us, we didn't do elections because the children that we rescue from the street, they are quite emotionally and mentally disturbed. So for this election, we had to look at, in consultation with the counselors, social workers, the children that have received rehabilitation to some level and they're able to express themselves, they're able to participate, because there are those who are in intense counseling that they're not able to participate. So that was the biggest criteria that we used, that at least they've received a level of rehabilitation, counseling and support, and they're able to express themselves.
Okay.
Yeah, that's the criteria.
So, and now to the rest of the country, of course, this is a project that is not, this is something that is not widespread across the country. And, one of the reasons is, of course, they say it's budgets and all that. What maybe would you say? There might be a child in Turkana that wants to participate, but they're not able to participate because don't you think that is denying children an opportunity, equal opportunity?
I believe that every child should be able to participate because whether it's a center, it's a children's home or a rescue center, it's not totally your capacity that you're relying on. The government is giving us a hand. We have partners who are willing to do that, is to first to seize the opportunity, to network and know that this is happening. That is the first point. When we know it's happening, then who is in charge? Can we get in reach? So I think I would say that no child should miss out on this because of things to do with budget and all that. The most important thing is to know that it's happening. Who is in charge and can I get in contact? Because from whatever I've also attended the session is that it's open for every other child to participate. So then let's not limit ourselves and say we don't have the money, we don't have the capacity. There are people who are willing to provide that budget that the child can get that opportunity. Yeah.
All right, thank you very much. Maybe any other message you have?
The message that I have is that every child is valuable despite of the situation they are in today, to know they can be better if we do something about it as a society and as child protection actors.
All right, thank you very much. Thank you. Those are very, very amazing views. And one thing that is coming out is, no child should be denied an opportunity to participate. They should all be given an equal opportunity. If you're not giving children in Tana River an opportunity to participate, then you shouldn't even give a child in Nairobi an opportunity. If you're giving a child in Mandera an opportunity, then give a child in Nairobi an opportunity. That means, equal opportunity for all children, and budget should not be a scapegoat for us not to give children an equal opportunity. Let me give another stakeholder an opportunity to tell us what they think about the Children's Assembly. Is it a new concept? Is it a concept that can work in Kenya? Is it a concept that is working globally? Karibu sana ndugu yangu. Pendekezo letu. Tell me maybe a little bit about yourself.
My name is Charles Ngozo Kamande. I work for Pendekezo Letu. Pendekezo Letu is an NGO which implements projects within the suburbs of Nairobi, and our projects are purely street-connected projects. Yeah, we deal with street-connected children, like those who did their performance here today, and also for the Children Assembly, we are part and parcel of it for benefit of street-connected children. Okay. We have representative.
All right, so what do you think? Wewe ukikuwa bwana hatukuwa na hizi vitu za Children's Assembly, and some of us even grew up and tulikuja Nairobi tukiwa I think over 15 years, and we got now to understand these things, and if you're given an opportunity to be on the Children's Assembly, will you be different?
Yeah, I would be very different, because at the time I was growing up, we didn't have such forums where we could air our views, especially myself being also one of a person who passed through the streets. And right now I see another generation of street-connected children is now able to attend this event and air their views. And it will change their lives. And also for myself, I will be very, very much different. Yeah.
So what do you think can change, can be different if children are involved in things like the Children's Assembly?
If they involve actually the activities that stakeholders implement will be very, very much beneficial to these children, because they will be part and parcel of the decision making themselves. Therefore, meaning that any activity that they undertake in, it will be for the best interest of that particular child. So for them to be involved in that Student Assembly, it is a plus for children of today.
Maybe there could be an argument out there, like street children cannot make decisions. Is that a statement maybe that you agree with it, or is it something that is a misconception?
That's a pure misconception, because for street children, they are children like each other. It's only that circumstances that took them to the street. Most of them, as you have even seen the performance, those are street-connected children who are in the streets, and they are able to come together and form a dance group and acrobatic. Even for these others who are here they are people who have feelings. It is not even about making decisions. It is about expressing their own feelings, being part and parcel of decision-making process. So that's a misconception which we should do away with.
All right. Thank you very much, sir.
Thank you.
Asante sana for your time. And that was Charles. He works with street children, and street children are also participating in the Children's Assembly, which is a very, very important thing for all children. And I'm very happy to hear that everybody is participating. Children from children's homes, and we also have
children from that have been held in different places are being considered for the Children's Assembly. That is very, very important. Thank you very much. We are about to go for a break, but before we go for a break, I want to engage another last person to tell us why he thinks this is important and what can be done to make things better. Dan, now Dan works with us, is the child participation manager at Mtoto News. Wewe ni mtu wa child participation bwana, so what do you think about this? Wewe uniambie tu.
Okay. As Collins has mentioned, I'm Daniel Amdavi and I will serve with Mtoto News as the Child Participation Manager. I'm very excited about the whole concept of the Kenya Children Assembly because it's one of the avenues through which the Kenyan children can participate in various activities at the government level, at the national level, all the way to the community level. I think it's the only structure that exists in Kenya that supports child participation from the very basic community at the sub-county level, at the school level, sub-county level, all the way to the national level. Today we are meeting here at the Starehe sub-county. On Friday we'll be in Kibra for the Kibra sub-county. And then after that, the following week, we shall be now at the county level, the Nairobi county level. So this is a very interesting structure, and as Mtoto News, we are excited to support. The event will be through all the sub-counties in Nairobi. Will be there to cover even the county, KCA, so that we can increase the visibility for KCA. Yeah.
So Wewe, if you had an opportunity to be a member of KCA, would you be different today?
Definitely, I'll be different. I got an opportunity to serve as a prefect in school, but not to serve the sub-county level. Okay. Serving is a privilege, and it empowers someone, whether a child or an individual. You get empowered as you serve others. Children are learning leadership skills from a very young age, and as they grow, they'll be ingrained in them that leadership, the leadership qualities that we need in future. We are nurturing leaders. We are not just providing a platform for children to engage, but we are nurturing leaders. So if I got a chance to serve at the KCA, I'll be a leader probably somewhere. Like now Brian, who was one of the KCA, Mora, who was one of the KCA, is now working with Mtoto News. But Brian, who was one of the KCA, came to work with Mtoto News, and right now he's vying to be an MCA. Probably I'll be an MCA or a speaker somewhere.
So turudi KCA, tuingie pia KCA alafu twende. Maybe for the people who are listening or who are tuning in for the first time, they are watching this interview for the first time, I just want you to break down, how important is maybe KCA and the structures of KCA, if you understand them.
KCA is very, very, very important. There's that UNCRC, the United Nations Convention on the Rights of the Child, that was domesticated at the African level to the African Charter on the Rights and Welfare of the Child, and the two documents provide for child participation in different sections. The same was now domesticated at the national level in Kenya through the Children Act of 2001, and the bill is now under review for the Children Bill 2021. Both the 2001 bill and the new bill, the Act and the new bill that is before Parliament right now, provide for child participation. And now the government has a responsibility to implement the laws. The government is bound by the UNCRC, it's bound by the African Charter, and it's also bound by the Children Bill to implement the right to participation. And so KCA seeks to implement that provision for child participation. So KCA is very important because it's the only way or channel through which now children can exercise their right to participation. And this one is very unique because it covers children across the country, not the same way like Mtoto News, we try to do child participation with children that we are able to reach, but the government has reached to all children in the country. So children from across the country, from the marginalized communities like Turukana, have their own KCA in Turukana. Children in Machakos, they have their own KCA in Machakos. So it's very unique and very important in two senses. One, all children are able to participate. Number two, even the marginalized children are able to also get a chance to participate and be part of the entire concept of child participation.
All right, thank you very much, Brian. Thank you very much, Dan, for that. And we'll be maybe reaching out to have more conversations around this.
Thank you.
All right, thank you very much. Remember, that is a conversation we are having about the Kenya Children's Assembly, one of its kind. This is very important. Child participation is one of the things that we really need to work hard and make sure it flows all over, from the county level to the sub-county levels, even so that every child gets the opportunity to participate. Thank you very much. We are going for a short break. When we shall be coming back to continue with the rest of the programming. That is after lunch. Children are going for lunch, and once they're done with lunch, they will be coming back, and IEBC and the DCS will be taking them through the electoral conduct and among other things that we shall be doing in the afternoon. Thank you very much for tuning in and following this conversation. I've been your host, Colin Sorono, and to the rest of the production team, Mr. Dennis Trevor, and that is John Thiga and Hillary. Asanteni sana, and see you in the afternoon.